A sideways trend is the horizontal price movement that occurs when the forces of supply and demand are nearly equal. While institutions disagree. Institutions like Blackstone Investment, Morgan Stanley, Wells Fargo, and Northern Trust, as well as many other ones, are actually long on ticker symbol COSM, and the short interest has decreased over time. In fact, the institutions are holding large amounts. But on top of that, the CEO also disagrees, as we previously went over how he acquired $107,000 worth of COSM shares at a price of $23.92. And as many of you know, the price is currently trading at $3.10. And I would love to refer you over to this Ryan Cohen speech that he announced at the GameStop shareholder meeting, because I think it correlates very well with what the CEO is doing with the company. He goes, "My father always told me talk is cheap, actions speak louder than words. My responsibility is making sure GameStop is run by managers who treat company money like their own. In corporate America, and the people in charge, the professional directors and management teams, are not aligned with shareholders. They are always the recipient of stock grants. However, they rarely purchase company shares with their own savings. There's a big difference between risk-free compensation for showing up and putting a meaningful amount of your own money at risk." In other words, Ryan Cohen basically states, put your money where your mouth is. As a CEO, he comes out and he says, listen, I bought with my own money shares of GameStop, and I am here to run the company and make the company stronger, and this is exactly what's going to happen. I'm putting my own money at risk because I am confident that we are currently undervalued. And you're seeing the exact same thing happen right here with ticker symbol COSM. In fact, the CEO not even buying at current share price. What is going on, guys? Lottery Stocks here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel if you're new. We are back at COSM stock, ticker symbol COSM, Cosmos Health Inc. And in the last video, we posted huge catalyst incoming, institutions load the boat. Now, institutions continue to load the boat, but the chart is trading sideways, which we're going to talk about in 1 minute. But in the previous video, we talked about how Cosmos Health is set to join the Russell Microcap Index, which is going to be one of the hugest catalysts, one of the biggest catalysts for this stock towards the end of 2023. So if you're not in before then, you're probably making a mistake. And people know exactly that, and that is exactly why the on-balance volume indicator has accumulated like crazy over the past few months. Yet the share price has not moved, but the short interest has dropped. So institutions exiting short positions and entering long positions on top of retail buying up the stock and holding the stock while it trades sideways, as well as the CEO purchasing at a higher share price. In the previous video, we also went over another catalyst where they entered into a binding LOI contract to acquire an established German pharmaceutical distributor, which is expected to also boost their annual revenue by 35 million or 70% by the end of 2025. So both of those catalysts are huge catalysts coming up for ticker symbol COSM and are still in play. Now, before we get into the charts, we have two new catalysts that dropped on this stock. The insiders are making moves to get this company on the rise, and people are not noticing it. Cosmos Health successfully closed the acquisition of assets from Bika's annual revenue projected to grow by over 10 million. A global healthcare group with proprietary lines of nutraceuticals and distributor of pharmaceuticals, branded generics, over-the-counter medications, and medical devices announced today the successful closing of the acquisition of the distributor network owned by iBika's general partnership, an established pharmaceutical company that has been operating in Greece since 1986. The strategic bolt-on transaction, through inclusion into the distributor network operated by the company's wholly owned subsidiary Cosmopharm Pharmaceuticals SA, entails the acquisition of Bika's robust sales and distribution network for pharmaceutical and parapharmaceutical products. You can go down the list, but they have several catalysts lining up to boost their revenue on top of getting inside of that microcap index fund. And the last bombshell that we have to drop for today before we get into the charts is Cosmos Health expands premium nutritional supplements line Mediterranean with the launch of Terra Creta. Terra Creta draws inspiration from the Mediterranean way of life and the remarkable longevity of Cretans. This lifestyle embraces a plant-based cuisine rich in vegetables, fruits, cereals, and nuts, all enhanced with generous amounts of extra virgin olive oil. The underlying philosophy is centered on nourishing our bodies with essential nutrients and vitamins during each meal to promote longevity. Terra Creta presents a specially crafted food supplement designed to support the immune system and overall well-being. It harnesses the power of 3 indigenous Cretan herbs. Now, on top of all of these catalysts, you're also investing in a good company that is helping the health and well-being of people around you and potentially even yourself, depending on if you use their products. And if you haven't, now may be the time. Again, none of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This is a sponsored video, but there have been plenty of sponsors that I have turned down because I don't like the company or I don't like the platform. COSM, I think, is an undervalued play. We're trading at $3.11. cents, still trading sideways on the chart. I'm going to remove the on balance volume indicator, but remember we are at all-time highs, which means the stock has been more accumulated than it has ever been, yet it's sitting near its lowest that it's also ever been at. And referring back to the beginning of a video, this typically occurs during a period of consolidation before the price continues a prior trend or reverses into a new trend. So if you were taking a look at the stock, would you say, okay, is this more likely to reverse into prior trend, which means, you know, what you would essentially see is a crack down, a bounce off the previous lows, come back up, retest before continuing this trend into the floor, which it wouldn't have much more room to fall before getting delisted. It's already extremely low. Or would you say, okay, well, this is more likely going to break this, that it retested 4 times, come back up, test up here right around $4.45, $4.50, base back off, and then continue to rip higher and higher? Because in my opinion, this is the more likely scenario. Why? Because the question being would be, well, what would make this trend continue downwards? The shorts are leaving their positions because the company's doing fundamentally well. The CEO is buying way up in the chart, right? The chart right now where I have it zoomed in at is only going up to $11. The CEO is buying at $23 a share. And institutions are not only switching from short to long, they're basically all long except one institution. So the question lies, what is more likely? What is more likely in your eyes? Is this company worth investing into you? In my opinion, this is an insanely undervalued play, and we don't get to see these too often. Another thing I want to note is that where COSM is trading at right now, you do have the potential to get a bounce and slowly start to make these higher highs and higher lows, because the previous candle came down and tested the support, as you saw, back here, and back here. And now it looks to be like we're basing off of it a little bit higher on ticker symbol COSM. One thing you do want to note, however, the volume is increasing on this sell-off, but notice how buyers and sellers are getting matched right around here, meaning it doesn't look like they have a lot more room to fall. If buyers are in max power right now and the stock price can't descend any lower, and that could also be an indication that this thing has neared a bottom or is nearing a bottom very soon. The last time we had crazy volume, which was back here on March 7th, the stock broke out of this channel very temporarily and came all the way up and top wicked at $4.83. The buyers on that day really wanted to jump in. You can tell right now the buyers that jumped in back here and the stock spiked, the buyers that jumped in back here and the stock spiked are still in the stock based off of the on-balance volume indicator, and there's no reason for it to go lower. This is all in my opinion, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Overall, guys, I would watch for a clean break over this trend line at $3.77 at this flat top here that you're getting where the stock is trading sideways. And then following that up, I would watch for a rejection potentially between 440 and 450 before coming back down, basing off of that level, and then finally getting a jump higher and higher as the stock goes. It does have a few gap fills that could be filled. In my opinion, it will eventually make its way up to about $7.58 at least, and based off of this level. I think it's too low where it's at right now. This is my opinion on COSM. This is the update on ticker symbol COSM. You guys let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. Also, if you're not in Discord, make sure to join the Discord. The link is right under the video. Also, if you want free Tesla stock guaranteed and a free $100 guaranteed, make sure to use my link, download Moomoo, and deposit to the criteria so you guys can get those benefits. I love you all. Lottery stocks out.